So just give yourself the gift of taking action. I promise you, yes, it's work. And yes, it's not going to be easy all the time, but it can be simple. Inspired action every day. Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Influencer Podcast. Today, I am going to be sharing with you the step that got me from 5K months to 20K months and got me there very quickly. It got me there in less than a year. It got me there in about 10 months. So I'm going to be taking you all the way back to 2016 today, when I went from burnout and barely making $5,000 a month to quickly making $20,000 a month and being able to do this kind of while I slept. And the best part is that this very step actually laid the foundation for my 50, 75K, 100K, 150K, 250K plus months that followed over the years. And so if you are in a place that you are ready to learn how to scale, no matter if you're making 5K a month or 50K a month, you are going to love what we're diving into today. So with that, let's get started. So back in 2016, I was at a pivot in my life in business. I was burnt out from my 9-year career as a publicist, and I needed a fresh perspective, a new way of thinking, and really the challenge of growing in some big ways. And so one night, while I was cruising the internet, I discovered that there were entrepreneurs online who were sharing strategies and ideas and frameworks in these things called online courses. And I was like, what? Huh? This type of thing exists? And I didn't know what exactly, but something just kind of in me felt pulled to start to dive into the rabbit hole of researching this world of what we really know now as online education. With that, and I want to kind of take you back a little bit, I want to get even more transparent with you. I started my career as a publicist and as a marketer back in 2007. So by the time that I actually considered investing in myself was a full 8 years later, right? From 2007 to 2016. I had never invested in myself at all. I had never invested in an online course. I had never invested in a coach. I had never even invested in a conference. I had built my business first corporately when I was in-house, and then when I was on my own as an entrepreneur between the years of 2012 to 2016, completely alone. And I was just lonely. I was also $30,000 in debt. I was stuck. I was tired of doing PR, and I was just plain lost. And I needed to figure out a way to shock my system into a new change. And so when I started to research this idea of learning something new, I wanted to learn how to build a business online. And there were these online courses that were teaching it. I had the choice to invest in a $2,000 online course. But I actually had debated investing because it was far more than I was comfortable with. And I remember that price tag literally made my stomach hurt, that $2,000 price tag, especially with being $30,000 in debt. But after going through the mental cartwheels and debating with myself, I came to the following conclusion. And that was, if I could learn just one new way to grow my entrepreneurial business, AKA make more money, from investing in this course, then I know I will pay myself back at least what I invested, the $2,000. So I then decided to do just that. I then decided to invest in some courses, learn how to build one out on my own. And I created my first online course called Pitch It Perfect. And within that first month, I sold $5,000 in course sales. And then within 10 months from creating my first online course and launching it, it wasn't just $5,000 that I had earned, but I had earned over $250,000. I literally started to outpace what my former salary was of about $65K a year. Now, I want you to hear this, that engrossing myself in value-driven content and learning new strategies and new methods for launching, it challenged my beliefs, it forced me to work in new ways, and it cleared a path for me to create something new for me to dive into in an entirely new way. And it allowed me to pay off my $30,000 in debt in full by investing in me. From that, I was able to let go of a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of confusion, a lot of overwhelm, and finally replace it with the one thing that I had originally thought that I couldn't do. So now, in the last 8 years, I've been able to create a multi-million-dollar online business, as well as become a best-selling author, a keynote speaker, a coach, a podcast host. And I've experienced the ups and downs of scaling a business while also growing my personal brand. And so I know what it's like. I know what it takes to actually make this thing work long term. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you today is because I really want to emphasize the importance of taking action. Because I know that the number one thing that I see holding so many people back is inaction. You get so frozen on trying something or not trying something. You don't buy the course. You don't launch the funnel. You don't do the webinar. You don't launch the podcast. And you just stay in this place of rumination and paralysis. And then a month goes by and you do nothing. And then another month goes by and you do nothing. And before you know it, you're not going forward, but you're not even plateauing. You're actually going backwards. And I think the reason why this happens so much to people in the online space is obviously because we know that either our time is going to be on the line or our money is going to be on the line. And I think especially when it comes to money, we're all so afraid of putting energy into something and putting money into something and it not working. And then it's like we think we're going to be destitute. And I think the reason that this is so important today is that we have to know in business that sometimes we're going to hit it and sometimes we're going to not. But no matter what, you have to take action. You need to go and try things. Every successful business owner that I know, including myself, has failed more times than they have ever and will ever succeed. But they just keep moving forward. They test the funnel. They invest in the coach. They buy the course. They get themselves into action. And so I think that you really have to ask yourself, like, am I moving? Do I know what needs to change? How do I know if that needs to change? Or am I going to be in the same place that I am today 3 weeks from now? And if the answer is yes, you're not moving. And of course, nobody can predict the future. I could have never predicted that I would have invested $2,000 in a course, then I would have created my own, and then that would have made $5,000. And then over the next 10 months, that $5,000 would have day by day, month by month, launch by launch, turned into $250,000. If you would have told me that back then, I would have said that you're flipping crazy. But I know that the only reason why that happened is because I took action. It doesn't mean that I didn't fail in the process of that. It doesn't mean that, like, who knows, maybe I could have made 500,000 during those 10 months and I only made 250 because I made mistakes, but I still kept growing and I still kept moving forward. And so I want you to understand that when you're growing, when you're scaling, if you find yourself stuck, if you find yourself in this place of feeling like you're plateauing, if you find yourself in this place that you're not moving forward, you've got to ask yourself, are you actually progressing? Are you actually putting yourself in a place where you are taking action? Because here's the thing, I'm not afraid to fail. And you don't see all the failures. I don't show everybody all the failures. I show you a lot of them because I like to be transparent. But to be honest with you, I don't even pay attention to all of my failures because I'm moving so quickly to the next stage. I'm moving so fast from failure to failure to failure that yes, I'm aware of what doesn't work so we can optimize and tweak it, but I don't live there. I don't stay there. I just keep moving forward. And so when you're in that momentum of moving forward, you don't actually have the time to see if you're all the things that you're failing in. But if you allow yourself to get stuck in the failure, then you're definitely not making progress as fast as you could. And the only difference, I think, between people that are successful and people that get stuck is the ones that are successful, they just keep moving forward. They don't allow themselves to get stuck in the failure. And to be honest, like I don't even believe in quote unquote failure. And I've talked about this on this podcast before. Like we call it failing when something doesn't work out. But to me, it's just a redirection. It's like, okay, what did we learn? What do we need to optimize? What do we need to change? But most people, they just get stuck in this place of not taking action because they're just overanalyzing everything that they never give themselves the opportunity to take the action to learn anything. And what you don't realize is that the only way to optimize, the only way to scale, the only way to get from 5K a month to 20K a month is for you to go out and try something and learn from it. And if you are to go out and try something and it doesn't work, that's not even failing because at least you're learning. It's like, okay, that didn't work. That angle didn't work. That type of content didn't work. That offer didn't work. So let's go and improve it for the next time. But if you don't ever take action, you're not going to have the feedback to be able to improve the next time that you want to get out there. And so really, there is no failure. You either win or you learn, but you don't fail. You can't fail because you're at the very least taking action. The only way that you fail is if you don't take action. And so with that today, I just want you all to take a little mental inventory today on your business, on your marketing, on your offer, on how you're showing up. And I want you to ask yourself, are you actually taking thoughtful, intentional action day in and day out? Are you actually moving as effectively and quickly as you could be? Are you doing as much intentionally in alignment as you could be day in and day out? Or are you just allowing yourself to get stuck in the crap? And this is the other thing that I think is super important, because I know that I just said, like, are you doing as much as you could be? And there could be some of you that are like, oh, but I don't want to have to do. I just want to like be in alignment and be. So I'm just going to get real with you. There is a phase in your business, especially if you have not hit 7 figures yet, or even like below 6 figures, kind of where I was when I kicked off this episode, when I was making like 65K a year. There's a phase between like 50K and about 250K, which I know from my own experience and from coaching so many people now, that it is the grind and hustle phase of business. And I know it's so easy to get lost in kind of like the just be mindset and like anti-hustle and anti-working hard. And I get that because obviously hustling that's not the end goal. That's not sustainable. But there absolutely is a season of your business where you're going to have to hustle, where you're going to have to get your hands dirty, where you're going to have to be in the muck and doing the work. And then once you hit a place where you can hire the right team and build systems and optimize and automate things, then you're given the gift of not having to hustle as much. But you have to work towards that. It doesn't just happen. And like I get super passionate about that because, when I was telling you back in 2016, that was my hustle phase, man. Like I was minding and I was grinding and I was working really long hours and I had a 2-year-old at home and I was working at night and I was getting up early and I was doing all the things. And yes, it was exhausting. And yes, I was tired. And yes, I thought like, is this going to work? This has to work. Is it going to work? Am I crazy? Yes, I had all of those feelings, but I just kept going. And it wasn't until I got to a high 6 to 7 to multi 7-figure business that I got some space and breath in my schedule. Nowadays, like my work life is pretty flippin' amazing. I work maybe 5 hours a day. I don't work weekends unless I want to. I don't work nights unless I want to. I close down shop about 3:30 every day. I get to travel when I want. I get to work where I want. I can be remote. I literally set my entire schedule. If you want to go back and listen to the podcast episode I did on how I plan out my work week, you will see how much space I have in my calendar day in and day out. I can go work out every day if I want to. I can go have lunch with friends if I want to. I can do all of that. But did I have that in 2016 when I was making $65,000 a year? Heck no. And so I think that it's just a lie when, depending on where you're at in your business, and I know a lot of you are in that high 5 to 6 figure to multi six to mid 6 figure phase that listen to this podcast. So most of you are in the phase that I'm talking about. I think that it's just a bold-faced lie when people look at you or you consume content from these multi 7 figures entrepreneurs that are just telling you to not hustle and to not grind and that it should just be easy for you. Because when you're in that phase, it's not going to be easy yet. It can be. You're not going to be there forever unless you don't take action, and then you're going to be stuck there. And that's why you're so overwhelmed. That's why you're so burnt out, because you're not taking the necessary action to get you to the place where you have more ease and you have less hustle and you have more space. And so I just really want to just hammer in why forward momentum and moving forward and not getting lost in the muck is everything. It's the number one thing that you can do today in your business is to take action. And as you expand, you're going to continue to be the one doing the things. You have to get your hands dirty. You have to write the content. Yes, you. You have to create the social posts. Yes, you. You have to edit the content. Yes, you. You're going to be doing everything. Just as I was, and just as anyone that came before you was. You really only have two options. You can either go and get a loan, or you can have someone invest in your business and you can hire all that stuff out, or you're going to be doing it yourself for a period of time. And no, it's not sustainable to be working like a dog forever, but you shouldn't have to be doing that forever. There's always a payoff. For some people, they can collapse time and get it within a year. Some people, it takes 2 years. For some people, it takes 3 years, but eventually you get out of it. Now, if you're still in this thing, year 4, year 5, and you're not out of it, that tells me you're not taking strategic, intentional action. You don't have your eye on the prize. You don't know what your goal is, and you need help. And that's fine. That is totally fine and totally normal. But the goal should be getting to the 7 figures. So once you're there, you can do things like grow a team and build out those things and create that space, but you got to earn that. You got to get yourself to that level. No one else is going to get you there but you. And the way that you do that is by taking action. And I'm on one today because I'm so passionate about it. I see so many incredibly talented, amazing entrepreneurs who have so much to give, but they won't even give themselves the dignity of buying a course to learn a really simple strategy that is going to fast track everything that they want. They just choose to stay flipping stuck and to keep doing the same thing that they've been doing for years. And then they're mind boggled why they're getting the results that they're getting. They're treating it like a side hustle, but expecting a full-time result. They've worked on something for a month and it didn't quote unquote work out perfectly the first time. So they feel like it's a failure, but it's because they had these expectations of getting the result of somebody that's been doing this for 5 years. And they've been doing it for 5 months. And so it's about awareness. No one is more special, different, better than you. You are the most special. You are the most unique. You have everything you need today to make it happen. I'm not any better or special than anybody else. The only thing that I did that most people don't do is take action. And that's because I refused to settle for mediocrity. I don't want to be mediocre. I don't want to be some people. I don't want to live in the failure. It's not fun. It's not pretty, and it doesn't feel good. So the only way out of it is to keep moving forward. And with that, thank you for being a part of my impassioned rant today. I hope that this inspires you and instills in you to take action. You can do it. You know what's best today. You don't need anybody's permission. You don't need anybody to handhold you. You've got it in you. You just have to give yourself the permission to do so. And it could be something so simple. It could be hiring a coach. It could be joining a mastermind. It could be finally investing in that course that you've been wanting to invest in for years. I can't tell you how many people will come to me and be like, Julie, I've been wanting to invest in Pitch It Perfect for years. And I think I'm finally going to do it. And I'm like, for years? Honey, the thing's $600. Just don't go to Starbucks for 3 months. It's $600. In the grand scheme of things, that is not a boatload of money. That's not your mortgage. That's not your car payment. The same women that are saying that to me are, when I look at them, their jeans are more expensive than the course. And they're waiting years. And I just think about the years of the time that's been wasted, the years of the money that they haven't made, just so much. And I have people that come to me and they're just like, I wish I would have done this earlier. I wish I would have done this sooner. I don't know why I waited so long. I was acting like investing $600 in a course was like my college savings. So perspective, we've got to be aware. We've got to be aware of what we're comparing the opportunities to. You think something that you want to invest in is too expensive. Well, too expensive compared to what? What are you comparing it to? Your mortgage? Well, it's not the same thing. Comparing it to the dress that you want to buy at the mall? Not the same thing. You comparing it to your $5 Starbucks order? Not the same thing. So just give yourself the gift of taking action. I promise you, yes, it's work. And yes, it's not going to be easy all the time, but it can be simple. Inspired action every day. And there's a question that I want to leave you with. And it's a question that I ask myself every day to keep me in that inspired action so I don't get squirrely and sidetracked, because I know that can happen to a lot of us. And I know a lot of you battle things like ADD, ADHD, a lot of learning disorders and challenges. And so we've got to stay focused. And one of those questions that you can easily ask yourself as you're rooting in to work every day is, what is essential today? What is absolutely essential today to get me closer to my goal? And what is it going to take? If I know what's essential and I know what it's going to take, then I can take action in making it happen. All right, friends, that is all for today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this has lit a fire in you. And maybe for some of you, it made you a little anxious. So reflect onto that too. Why are you feeling that? Because it's all a mirror. If you spot it, you got it. So be mindful, be aware, go easy on yourself, take care of yourself, root into the action. You're more than capable of making it happen. I want to see the success that I know that you're wanting and striving for. And only you can allow yourself to root into that and make it happen to get what you want. So with that, my friends, I will see you next week, same time, same place. If you did enjoy today's episode or any gleams that came from today, please just let me know. You can send me a DM. You can share today's episode on your socials. You can write a review and let me know specifically what about this episode really connected with you. Because when you do those things, it's not just for the review, but when you share specifically what your takeaway was, it allows me to know what you're hitting with and what you're connecting with, so I can deepen those concepts in the future.